The line was exceptional.
I've had to train to get very, very proficient.
Gold medalist and Paralympic champion representing New Zealand.
You're always adjusting and adapting to conditions, and that's the thing that young players perhaps don't quite realise these days.
You're listening to the Hyundai High Performance Hour.
Welcome into the show. It is Sport Lately on a Wednesday night, but this is the Hyundai High Performance Hour. Of course, we're in our new time slot move from Fridays. We brought you the show now on a Wednesday night. It is on our new website as well, and I say new website in that you can just simply click the button and listen to previous shows in this series. So if you missed last week with Mike Allsop, you can simply go to the website now, hph.co.nz, click on the button, and you will be straight into that interview. So if you miss a show, miss an interview, you've got that opportunity as well to listen in your own time, possibly while you're at work. Put the headphones on. The boss won't know what you're doing. Just push that button and minimise and keep working away. You'll be fine. So tonight on the show, it's all about BMX, Avanti, a New Zealand company, proudly New Zealand's owned here by Shepherd Industries. And they've engineered a fantastic bike for Sarah Walker and others to ride at the upcoming World Champs. So we'll talk with Sarah Walker in a moment or two. I caught up with Sarah last week before she headed away to the States. We'll also hear from John Oldale from Avanti about the BMX frame set that he's designed, well, his team. And we'll hear from Ian Heppenstall about the upcoming UCI BMX World Champs at Vector Arena in late July. Joining me in the studio is the night watchman, Jason Ryan. Jason, how are you?
I'm very good. Good evening.
Talking high performance, you've just come from another camp with the All Blacks.
I thought you were talking about me as high performance
didn't
there.
You, just for a second or two?
I was like, another successful 3 days in Mount Maunganui.
And getting ever closer now to the first game in 2013. So they're in camp full-time from when? Next Monday?
Well, the squad officially gets named on Sunday. Not sure what time on Sunday, and they all venture north to Auckland later that day, and camp starts Sunday.
Cool. And then, of course, building up for the test match on the 8th against the French. I've already got a gathering to go to. We're going to have a little party and a few people around at my sister's place to watch the match. So should be good. And, I'm guessing we might see some new names in that All Black team.
Well, you would think so, law of averages. The French team are looking pretty good, actually. They've named, I think, 38. A few players probably missing for the first test because of the French club rugby final this weekend. But other than that, I think it's look out test 2 and test 3. There'll be no slouches test 1, but I think roughly about half the squad is returning from the 2011 World Cup.
Cool. And listen, talking of All Blacks, you very kindly organised for a friend of yours to join us on the show next week. So Ali Williams is going to join us next week.
Yeah, Ali will be in studio. He spoke to him today. He's looking forward to it. He had forgotten. So,
you got to ring him again to make sure he doesn't forget.
I think he was pulling my leg. So he's it's in the diary. He will be here next Wednesday night live in studio.
Fantastic. So looking forward to that. It is State of Origin night, but I'm sure that Ali probably doesn't mind that. He'd probably talk a bit of rugby league as well. He loves his sport, but we'll talk to him about his career in the All Blacks and for various provincial sides, because let's not forget, he did spend a rather fruitful year, didn't he, down in Christchurch?
Yeah, he did. Successful year. Yes.
Yeah, so, and some say that was the making of him. But Ali Williams on the show next week on the Hyundai High Performance Hour. But coming up this week, Sarah Walker, as we talk some BMX. That's up next. Don't forget, if you'd like to be a winner on the Hyundai High Performance Hour, just simply go to our Facebook page. Now, you can link to it from the website or simply find us on Facebook and like and answer the question. Very simple question. And you're in the draw to win our weekly prize. So simply go online, hph.co.nz, link through to the Facebook page, or find your way straight to Facebook High Performance Hour and like and then answer that very simple question, and you could be a winner with our weekly quiz prize. Sarah Walker up next.
The new BMW X1 Sports crossover is perfect for work, play and everything in between. And now with the extension of an unbeatable 0% finance offer until the end of May, you can still drive away in this ultimate driving machine for as little as 4 annual payments of $16,463. This offer must end May 31st, so don't delay. Visit Team Macmillan BMW in Newmarket for a test drive today and find out why BMW is the #1 selling premium car brand in New Zealand. Terms and conditions apply.
Got some quick questions for you. Just answer yeah or nah. If you've had a big night, do you ever wake up the next morning feeling guilty or remorseful? Yeah or nah. Do you ever find yourself missing commitments because you're drinking or hungover? Yeah or nah. Have you or anyone else been hurt as a result of your drinking? Yeah or nah. If you think you're answering yeah a bit too much, maybe we can help you say nah a bit more often. Call the Alcohol Helpline on 0800 787 797.
If you're thinking about investing in property or buying your first home, you need to get in touch with Property Apprentice.
There's a lot of mistakes I had made when I first started. Structured things so wrong, having to top my mortgages up. I've got a portfolio now that is positively geared, and that was just through learning a few things through the course. Now my properties are making me money. So that's what it's all about at the end of the day.
To register for the next free Property Apprentice event, text ticket to 244 or visit propertyapprentice.co.nz.
Radio Sport is proud to present the All Blacks against France. 3 tests here in New Zealand under the guidance of head coach Steve Hansen.
Yeah, g'day.
We begin on June 8 at Eden Park.
We won the World Cup there.
A week later, and it's off to Christchurch.
Home of the earthquake and Richie.
And the series wraps up on June 22nd inside Yarrow Stadium, New Plymouth.
Never heard of it.
The All Blacks against France from June 8.
Listen in, it'll be great.
Radio Sport. The Hyundai High Performance Hour with Andrew Dewhurst. Proudly brought to you by Hyundai New Zealand.
Well, I caught up with Sarah Walker last week as we spoke with the Olympic silver medalist from the London Games in 2012. And this interview, and then we'll hear from John Oldale from Avanti. He's the head of their BMX program, so we'll hear from John about the bike from a technical point of view, and we'll hear from Ian Heppenstall about the upcoming UCI BMX World Championships here in New Zealand, Auckland, Vector Arena in late July. But first up, Sarah Walker. I spoke with Sarah last week before she headed away to the States to begin her preparation for the Worlds. The first thing I asked Sarah about was the rehab as to how that was going. Of course, she's had some shoulder issues. She took that into London and coped really well. But what about the shoulder issues? How's the rehab going?
Recovery's going really well, and I'm really excited to be on this new bike. Obviously, the one that I rode at the Olympics was going really well, and this one's just that next level up again, so it's pretty exciting.
Now, I mean, essentially, you've been on this technology for a while. It's a rebranding exercise for Avanti, but I guess great to see that name, which is to the greater unwashed, to the wider public. Avanti is a Kiwi brand name that they know and trust.
Yeah, and even a lot of BMXers didn't realise that ABD, the old branding, was an actual Avanti bike. So I think it's quite good for the brand to be able to align with the road and mountain bikes. And yeah, it's quite an honour that they wanted to align with that, because they are a high-performance brand, and for them to see BMX as a high-performance area for them is pretty cool for them to step up. And, I mean, yeah, people recognise Avanti and know what it is. So, yeah, it's just great.
So for you in your sport as an elite athlete, how important is the technology?
Well, you know, when you're riding a bike, you're trying to find every little bit of percent that you can, and if your bike is helping you gain those percentages, then you're just going to keep going faster and faster. So the fact that Avanti are open to finding that new technology and what's the next step that can make us go even faster is pretty awesome, and the fact that they work with us in developing a bike that's to that Olympic level is great.
So how do they work with you? So they get some feedback from you and I guess other riders?
Yeah, well, it happens to be really easy though, because they tend to make a bike that I like straight away. So I haven't actually had to give much feedback except that it's going great. So ever since they built their first one, they said that if I needed anything changed on the bike, on my bike personally, that they would change the whole line so that everyone had that same thing. Just obviously if I can ride the Olympics on a certain bike, then why shouldn't everyone else should be able to ride it too? So I think that's pretty cool, that the fact that the bike that I ride, anyone can have and anyone can buy it and ride it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That is cool because, everyday riders that are out there, whether it's social or whether they're competitive at club level, they certainly like to know that they're on the best technology. I mean, without going into the detail, John will do that for us, I'm sure, later in the show, but what sorts of things can you change? For you as a rider, what sorts of things do you think about changing, even though, as you say, you haven't had to?
Well, you can change all the geometry, so all the angles, where the bar's angle is, where the seat angle is, how long it is on the top tube, so between the handlebars and the seat, how long it is between the seat and the back wheel. There's plenty of things to change. You can change how high your cranks, where your pedals are off the ground, so that can be higher or lower. And there's quite a few different things you can change on your bike, and I haven't needed to. So I've been riding an Avanti bike for the last 6-7 years, so I'm fairly well used to it, and it just keeps getting better.
I guess, though, that you are thinking of those sorts of things and ways to find that little extra percentage, as you say. I mean, do you get on different bikes from time to time, someone else's bike that might be set up differently, and see how that affects your ride?
Well, all of the people in the New Zealand team, they have slightly different bikes, so we can ride each other's, but everyone's slightly different, so you're so used to riding your bike day in, day out, that actually changing something on the bike does feel different, and it is quite important to have a good feel with your bike. But the one thing that I have really liked on the new bikes is the bottom bracket is what's called a BB30, so it's a bigger bottom bracket, which means it's a lot stiffer through your pedalling, which means every single pedal that I put through my each rotation, it's actually, that power is going straight to the bike, helping me going in a straight line faster, and there's no twisting or stress through the bike, meaning that I'm losing that power out through those twistings. So yeah, it seems like every pedal is just doing a lot more every single time, so that feels good.
Absolutely it would. That's a great advantage. Sarah Walker, our guest on the Hyundai High Performance Hour. I caught up with Sarah last week before she headed away to the States. We'll also hear from John Oldale from Avanti. He's the man behind their BMX program. And Ian Heppenstall as we have a look at the UCI BMX World Champs coming up in Auckland in July. More in a moment. Remember to check out our website. It's a new look website, just been revamped, so have a look and reacquaint yourself. And if you'd like to answer our quiz question, you can do so on Facebook. Simply go to the Facebook link, like, and answer the question. You'll win our weekly prize if you're right and your name is drawn.
A good forklift comes down to one thing, engineering, and that's what they do at Hangchar. Hangchar make forklifts the proper way, with steel. Plus you get the world's best drivetrains, like Nissan engines and ZF transmissions. From 1 to 25 tonne, get behind the wheel of some Hangchar steel. Hangchar, from Northern Forklifts. No computers, no frills, just real forklifts built for real work. Call 0800 42 642 42 or go to northernforklifts.co.nz.
NewZealandGirls.co.nz.
It's one of the most viewed websites in New Zealand.
It's tasteful, exciting, and now with an exclusive members section.
NewZealandGirls.co.nz is New Zealand's ultimate online escort directory.
Come watch the escort video profiles, see their hot photos, and engage in live chat.
It's all happening in the members area.
Check it out today. You'll be glad you did.
NewZealandGirls.co.nz.
It takes a pallet of paint 2.6 seconds to fall 3 metres from a forklift. And during that 2.6 seconds, as the paint fell from Jason's forklift, he imagined the worst. He would get fired, go on the dole, kicked out of home, living on the streets, rob a bank, end up in jail, sharing a cell with a big fat hairy man that liked young men, of course. None of this happened. Jason's boss had a Flowstone floor coating put down, and the floor is stupidly easy to clean. Get a Flowstone floor coating on your factory floor and you could almost eat your lunch off it. In fact, that's exactly what Jason did. He dropped his pie at lunchtime. Well, it was a steak and cheese. Visit flowstone.co.nz and never have a slip up again.
The Black Caps Tour of England from Friday night at 10. It's the first one-dayer from Lords.
That's the best delivery in the day.
Keep Radio Sport loud for ball-by-ball action. The Hyundai High Performance Hour. Proudly brought to you by Hyundai New Zealand.
We're talking with Sarah Walker, of course, New Zealand silver medalist from the London Olympic Games, and the release last week of the 2014 frame set from Avanti, and it will carry an Avanti brand on the BMX that Sarah and others will ride this year, including, of course, at the UCI World Championships in Auckland in July. Sarah, does it, and listen, tell me honestly here, it may not affect you at all, but it may. Does it give you a good feeling as well, though, to know that this is New Zealand engineering? That, yes, it's clearly a very good bike, it's a world-leading bike, but it's designed and engineered by a New Zealand company. Does that make you feel good?
Yeah, who wouldn't want to ride a New Zealand bike, especially if it's just as good as, or if not better than every other brand in the world, so... I've been offered sponsorship from American bike companies and stuff like that, but you just can't beat riding your own country's bike for your country. It's just, being able to take them all the way to the Olympics was quite an honour, and I've really enjoyed working with them. You can't, if I was riding an American bike or a European bike, I can't just shoot up to the offices and catch up with them and talk about what developments we're making with the bikes, but here I can... They're in Auckland, I can go meet with them, we can look at what's coming next, what ideas we have together, and really work on making a really great bike and moving forward.
Sarah Walker, our guest on the High Performance Hour tonight, and we'll be chatting with John Oldale from Avanti as well. He's the guy in the design team and of the BMX bikes with Avanti. Sarah, just to talk, I guess, about where you're at in terms of your riding and your schedule this year. There'll be a lot of excitement, a lot of attention come July at that World Championships at Vector Arena. What have you got planned? You're away in the next day or two to the States, so what's your program?
Yeah, we're going to the States for 6 weeks, and we're doing 4 races over there. The first one's in Nashville next weekend, so straight into it. But just to get some experience behind me before Worlds, because I haven't really raced since the Olympics, so it'll be great. And also, there's a few things that need to come into place for me to do well at the Worlds, but there's only a couple, and I was expecting a lot, so I'm well ahead of where I was expecting to be, and well ahead, meaning I had a plan of where I wanted to be by the end of the year, and I'm ahead of that after 5 weeks. So,
wow.
Yeah, things are going great, and I've got 8 weeks to Worlds now, and I think, judging by the improvements I've had over the last 8 weeks and 8 weeks to go, who knows, I really don't have any expectation whatsoever at the moment, because I just don't know what is going to happen.
Is this a bit different for you? Have you had to recover from a major injury or surgery before in your career?
The longest time I've ever had off BMX is 2 months, and that was just a holiday after Beijing. So, yeah, no, I've never had longer than that off, and for the surgery I had 5 months before I was allowed to even touch my bike again. So it was a very foreign place for me to be, and it'll be quite exciting really, because usually when I go overseas I'm kind of within that 5% of my best, but so I'm quite consistent in my results and performances, and that this one is going to be interesting, because from start to finish of this next 6 weeks, it'll be quite interesting to see my progress over there in that time. Like I said, there's only a few pieces of the puzzle to come together, and I think with all that racing over there and that experience gained, I should be able to put those final pieces together.
Well, I mean, the fact that you're so far ahead, it sounds to me like you probably have been a pretty good patient through this in terms of your rehab, but what, if anything else, have you found out about yourself, be it involved in BMX or not, if you understand me? Have you discovered anything about Sarah Walker that you didn't know prior to going into this 5 months of rest and recovery?
I think the fact that I had a bit of practice with my shoulder leading into the Olympics, like having to kind of be courageous and knuckle down and just accept that I could fall off and not be at the Olympics, but pushing myself to my limit anyway and wanting to win that medal. I think I learned a lot there that's helped me in this time coming back into racing. It's been quite surprising, the gains that I've made over that time, but I don't know, I think, the biggest learning was before the Olympics, and it's helped me a lot with this next block leading out of the injury, and I can't even begin to guess where I'll be, because every week I just have to keep rewriting the plan, because I've I've got to the end of it already.
Yeah, I mean, it's cliche, but of course a lot of people will say you don't know what you've got until it's gone. And for elite athletes, sometimes you can take it for granted that you're just in your own world, you're in the middle of either training or preparing or racing, whatever your sport is, but suddenly it's taken away from you. Suddenly it dawns on you that you are that close at any time to not being able to do this. Did that thought go through your mind at all?
I think you're always aware of it, especially in a sport like BMX, where every single time we go and ride the BMX track, it could be our last time ever. So you're aware of it, but at the same time, I don't think you truly believe that'll happen to you. You're just kind of like, yeah, that can happen, but why would it happen to me? So yeah, I think you can be a bit ignorant, but at the same time, you almost need to be. Otherwise, you're always going to be afraid. And in saying that, I probably am always afraid anyway. It's just learning how to deal with that fear. I can't imagine there would be many BMXers to say that they're fearless. It's just we know how to deal with fear and face up to it and manage to try and stay on our bikes. Some
elite athletes, Sarah, indeed, many that I've spoken to on this show, they talk about after a big event, like an Olympic Games, there can be a low, there can almost be a time of depression. Have you ever been someone who's ridden that sort of a roller coaster in your career? And if so, was it a good thing to have the injury, the rehab to deal with straight after London?
I think it was good because I could step back from my sport and actually miss it, if that makes sense. Like I know I love my sport, and I knew there wasn't a question in my mind that I didn't love my sport, but I didn't know how much until I didn't have it. And having that break, that forced break, made me realise how much I do love it and how much I miss it. And I don't feel like I have any unfinished business in the sport. Like I don't feel like I need to win a gold medal in Rio to finally validate that I was a good BMXer. It's kind of, I want to ride BMX because I love it and I enjoy it so much. And so it was kind of good to have that break to realise that, because I could have easily just kept riding and gone, yeah, I like BMX, but I didn't realise how much until I had that break.
Absolutely. And listen, just finally, before we let you go, the opportunity to race at home. You and others, Mark in particular, but you and others have helped put BMX on the news and in the newspapers. But how big an opportunity is this for New Zealanders, the great unwashed, that have never watched a BMX race in their lives, to get along and see it live? How big could this be for the sport?
I don't know. You just make me smile just thinking about what it means for New Zealand BMX, and I just think it's exciting, and it's a huge opportunity for other riders to kind of make a name for themselves as well. I think there'll be quite a few world champions from New Zealand, and they'll be performing in front of a home crowd, and hopefully they can make the most of this opportunity and become another name in New Zealand BMX in the media and around the country. So, yeah, I think not many people realise how big of an opportunity this is in those other age groups. Like we've got world champions, current world champions and previous world champions racing here in the over 800 people just from New Zealand. So it's so exciting to think that it's going to be here, and having it indoors with up to 7,000 people at Victorina. Like at the Olympics we only had 6,000, so if we could fill that and have more people in the New Zealand World Champs than there were watching the Olympic Games at the venue, that would be pretty special in itself. And to have people winning world championship titles is just, yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
And it's a perfect sport for an arena. I mean, I was lucky enough, I was there in London with Sky Sport, and the buzz around so many in the team covering the Olympic Games was, have you seen the BMX track? You have got to get there, because again, not many people have in the course of their work or watching sport seen BMX live, and it really is. It's cool to be there. It's over so quickly. The noise, the atmosphere, it's just a cool buzz, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think it's quite deceiving, the size of the start hill and the size of the jump. Like
oh, yes.
TV.
Oh, yes.
On TV, you can kind of see that we're this tiny little dot at the start of the ramp, but like when you're actually there and you actually can see the start hill and with your own eyes and the size of the first jump with your own eyes, it's like you begin to get a real sense of how crazy we are.
Absolutely. You are bang on. It is nuts. And that was one of the first things when we drove around that loop around the Olympic Park in London, was that you could see that start ramp in the BMX stadium, and you're going, you're kidding.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to believe when you first see it. And I think in Vector Arena it's going to be even more emphasised, I think, because it's going to be quite close to the ceiling. Like, it's kind of, I was there for the Halberg Awards earlier this year, and I was looking up and I was like, man, I can't believe we're going to be almost in the rafters up here. It's just a long way up, and because you've got a roof over the venue. You have something to compare it to, and it just is ridiculously high. People will be sitting in the stands, higher stands, and we'll be level. So.
Fantastic. Oh, it's going to be a big buzz. But listen, meantime, work to do. So we wish you well in the States, and look forward to steady progress. And obviously, results are not the important factor for you at the moment. It's just your progress and performance. And then we look forward to seeing you at Vector Arena in July. Travel well.
Thank you very much.
That is Sarah Walker on the Hyundai High Performance Hour as she chats about her recent work on the rehab, but also looking forward to racing at the World Championships in Auckland, and in particular racing on that Kiwi-engineered Avanti bike. And we'll find out more about that frame set for 2014 with John Oldale from Avanti. He's up next.
Good morning. On the weekend, we had a visit from the laser man. I thought he was going to come over and shoot laser beams. But he didn't. Here's from Laser Electrical. He not only fixed up all Dad's handiwork, he also installed some new security lights, a heated towel rail, and an extractor fan in the bathroom. Dad said he could have done it himself. He was really busy. I'm blocking the drain outside. Mum googled laser, and now the laser plumbing man is coming to fix that as well.
0800 get laser.
G'day, it's your old mate, the Mad Butcher. It's fresh New Zealand pork sale in all Mad Butcher stores this week, with pork shoulder roast just $5.99 a kilo, and pork leg roast down to just $6.99 a kilo, and pork loin chops and pork slices are great buying at only $10.99 a kilo. So if it's pork for you this week, it must be the Mad Butcher with pork shoulder roast, only $5.99 a kilo. Mad Butcher, best price, best quality.
Yeah, you just can't beat the Mad Butcher's meat.
It's all live on the box at the Fox.
Explosive Joseph Parker, Francois the White Buffalo Borta. This is the real heavyweight fight every boxing fan wants to see. Watch every punch, jab and hook thrown Thursday, June 13th, live and loud on the box at the Fox.
Right now at FCO, score up to 70% off a huge range of winter apparel and footwear. OEX Kids Buller Snow Jackets, $29, save $70. The North Face Apex Bionic Jacket, 45% off, now $160. FCO, fishing, camping and outdoors.
The baby girl, off to England for the first time.
Dad, stop it. You'll make me cry.
And if you cry, then I'll cry. But I know you'll be with Brian Waddle every step of the way, so that puts my mind at ease.
Brian Waddle?
Radio Sport presents the Black Caps Tour of England. The first one-dayer is from Lords, Friday night, 9:45, and we've got ball-by-ball action live.
That's the best delivery of the day.
The Black Caps Tour of England with WADS. Keep Radio Sport loud for all the action. The Hyundai High Performance Hour with Andrew Dewhurst. Proudly brought to you by Hyundai New Zealand.
Well, John Oldale joins us now from Avanti. And, John, just clarify for us, what exactly is your title? I'm just going to call you the boss of BMX at Avanti, but what's your role there?
Boss of BMX is too kind. My role is I'm a bicycle product manager, but I specify with the BMXs, particularly the race bikes. My background is not actually in BMX racing. It's in downhill mountain biking. But I've always enjoyed watching BMX racing, and I love working with the riders and the high-performance athletes. So, yeah, I pretty much begged Shepherds for the role, and they gave it to me, and I've been doing it for 5 years now.
Fantastic. And, of course, this new bike that Sarah and others will be riding, and indeed they were given those bikes a week or so back, and for Sarah, she takes it away to the US. It is essentially a rebranded bike, isn't it? Because you've been in the BMX game, but this is a rebranding of the Avanti brand on the BMX frame set.
Yeah, that's right. We previously had it under a brand called ABD, which was a all-round BMX brand, but we felt it was better for the brand if we took the race division of ABD, and we put it under the Avanti. That's the same high-performance philosophy that we have with our road bikes and our mountain bikes. So that meant one of two things. A, we could concentrate more on the Avanti race side of things, or race BMX side of things, but it also meant that we could take ABD to the next level as a pure dirt jump brand. So it's really a very positive thing for both brands.
Cool. And in terms of the way that's been received, I know that you're over in Aussie now as we speak to you, and with your initial discussions with the athletes especially, has it been well received?
It's been very well received. To be honest, it's actually surprised me a little bit. I think most people have sort of said, oh, why didn't you guys do this years ago? And I think it's great for the BMX race community because they really are a very high-performance athlete. And they do the same amount of training, if not a little bit more in some cases, than high-performance road riders or mountain bikers. And so they really deserve to be receiving the same input and technology that we have access to through the Avanti name.
All right, so this 2014 frame set that you've put together, for those that know their BMX racing and are interested in this aspect of the sport, what can you tell us about the bike?
Well, it's made of a Kinesis K7 aluminium, which is quite a high-grade 7000 series butted alloy tubes. All the tubes are custom made for us. We designed them, and they've been made specifically for us. One of the great technologies that we've embraced for this is what's called a BB30 press fit bottom bracket, and that's essentially a road bike bottom bracket. The bottom bracket is the part that the cranks sit in. By going to this bigger system, it means that we can put a larger axle crank on there, which is stiffer. It also gives us more surface area to weld the back end of the bike onto, and which means we can put larger diameter tubes, which are just as lightweight as their smaller versions, but they're a lot stiffer. And then on the back, we've actually decided to use a 15 mil axle hub. So typically a BMX would run a 10 mil axle. So we've gone 5 mil bigger. That allows us to, again, put a stiffer axle hub on there. That hub, we've then designed a special mechanism which has 120 points of engagement. So it sounds like a swarm of bees coming at you, but what it means for the rider is that as soon as they put a pedal stroke, there's no delay. It goes instantly into the rear hub and engages. So out of the start gate, they're able to all of their power goes straight into acceleration of the bike as opposed to being wasted in the twisting of a flexi frame.
Fantastic.
It's technology which we first started playing around with about 2 years ago, and we've really been able to refine it. And we were perhaps a little bit ahead of the game 2 years ago, but now sort of a lot more BMX brands have picked up that this larger crank system and larger rear hub is the way forward, and so aftermarket components are readily available to fit to our new frame.
Oh, that's cool. I mean, it's a great story, though, isn't it? Because we are talking about Kiwi engineering here, aren't we? I mean, we're talking about Sarah and others being amongst the best in the world on a BMX, but they're riding Kiwi engineering.
Yep, definitely. I mean, it's all designed in Mount Wellington in Auckland. It's tested by Sarah and the rest of the team. We come up with a concept, or I come up with a concept, go to the riders, let them ride a prototype bike, and they can come back and say, I think we should change this, I think we should change that. And it's really a great way to develop a product because it means that the final product that comes to the customer has genuinely been tested and developed by the top level racers from around the world.
And those bikes, you talk about the customer, anyone that is listening, this is the beauty of this as well, because the very bike that Sarah and others will ride, the Avanti Elite Racing bike, I mean, that will be available in, August for customers through stores?
It'll be available beginning of August. So World Champs are obviously the end of July, and then a couple of weeks after that, customers will be able to walk into their local dealer, pick up either the team issue or a complete bike, and they'll then be able to go into the new 2013-2014 New Zealand race season on the very same bike that has been hopefully ridden to a medal by Sarah or one of the other team members.
Yeah, fantastic. Oh, it's as I say, a great story. It's and it's kind of nice in a way that I'm stretching the envelope a little here, but that on the 60th anniversary of a great Kiwi adventurer, someone pushing the boundaries in Sir Edmund Hillary climbing Everest. Here we are talking about New Zealand engineering taking on the world with New Zealand riders. It really has a nice ring to it. Yeah,
no, I think that's right, and I think, in fairness, though, we need to acknowledge the motor that drives these bikes, and the fact that Sarah and Talia Hansen, who's one of our top juniors, these are riders who really, really are at the top of their game, and they definitely have a very, very good chance of coming away with a gold medal, if not a silver or bronze. So we really need to acknowledge just how good these riders are, and they really are the main thing around that bike.
Absolutely, but the machinery's great as well. John, nice to catch up, and we wish you a safe journey, but you might want to stay in Aussie just quietly. It's a bit cold here at home.
I hear it is a bit chilly, yep.
Good stuff. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
All right, cheers, Andrew.
That's John Oldale from Avanti with that. If you love your technical aspects of bike riding and what have you, then you love talking to John. But it is wonderful. Kiwi engineered, and it is world leading. So well done, Avanti. This is the Hyundai High Performance Hour. And don't forget our quiz question on Facebook right now. I'll tell you what the question is. It's really tough. If you answer it correctly on Facebook, all you got to do is like and then answer correctly on Facebook, and you're in the draw to win that Paper Plus prize pack, which we give away each week on the show. What brand of BMX does Sarah Walker ride? And I can see even Jason Ryan starting to tap away on the keys. He thinks he knows it. What brand of BMX bike does Sarah Walker ride? Go to Facebook, like us, answer the question. If you need to, go through the website. We've got the link on there, hph.co.nz. Back in a moment with Ian Heppenstall as we have a look at the upcoming UCI BMX World Championships. They're at Vector Arena, yes, in Auckland in July.
Hi, Andrew Kerslake from HomeTune. If you drive a European car, petrol or diesel, I've got some great news for you. You don't need to take it to the authorised dealership anymore. In fact, you don't have to take it anywhere. Our technicians are experienced in all European makes. We use some of the latest diagnostic equipment, reset your service light, and best of all, we come to you 7 days a week. Right now, we're offering Euro servicing from just $179, and we're MTA assured. Call now.
HomeTune 630-3000.
When you need power, you need it now. Generator Rental Services and Sales. Call 0800 301 301 and get the best price on the generator you need right now. Generator Rental Services and Sales boast some of the best prices in the market. So when she all turns to custard, call Generator Rental Services and Sales and get your hands on the best generator deal around. Because when you need power and you need it now, Generator Rental Services and Sales. 0800 301 301.
Schofields of Newmarket are showcasing a limited number of 2012 Nissan Juke Auto ST 5-door hatches from only $25,990 drive away. Yes, just $25,990. With funky modern looks, this vehicle is all the rage in Europe and offers all the usual safety and creature comfort features. They make it easy to buy with on-site finance plans to suit. Catch all the details online at schofield.co.nz.
We're still Schofields after all of these years.
People who attend the Property Apprentice course love raving about it.
What I like best about the Property Apprentice course is the coaches, the fact that they are genuine people that started off with the same vision and dream that I have today, and they genuinely just have the passion and enthusiasm to pass on their knowledge to similar like-minded Kiwis.
Come along to the next Property Apprentice event and you'll receive 5 free property reports valued at $495. To register, text ticket to 244 or visit propertyapprentice.co.nz.
The Hyundai High Performance Hour with Andrew Dewhurst. Proudly brought to you by Hyundai New Zealand.
Yes, check them out, hyundai.co.nz. Of course, Field Days coming up. We'll have a special week for Field Days week. We'll be talking with the team at Hyundai, and we'll have a Field Days theme on the show. That's 2 weeks from now on the Hyundai High Performance Hour. But Hyundai always huge at Field Days at Mystery Creek in a couple of weeks. Well, in a couple of months, in fact, almost to the day, we'll be looking back on the first time ever that New Zealand has hosted the UCI BMX World Championships, 24 to the 28th of July at Vector Arena. Ian Heppenstall is media manager for that event and joins us. Hep, how are you?
Fantastic. Thank you, Andrew.
This is going to be huge, isn't it? Just talking to Sarah, I spoke with her last week and we've just played that interview tonight on the show, but I wonder if even people within BMX realise what this could do for the sport. It really could and should take it to the mainstream.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I think you're right in all cases. They probably local BMX people don't see that because They're
well, they already love it.
They're already there. They're and it is a very unique sport. You know, it's a fantastic family sport, and you know, we're going to have. There's 845 New Zealanders in the team racing that week. An extraordinary number. They had about 1,200 people at the National Championships just trying to qualify, and they're from 5 years of age to over 70. So it's
is
a
this,
remarkable event.
Is this a similar model to triathlon, where you can go to a World Championships and win an age group?
Yeah, it is, except unlike triathlon, this starts at 5 years. So, you know, we have someone like Rico Bierman from North Harbour, who's a current world champion. He's now, I think, in the 10 years age group. He's already won 3 world titles. So
that's cool.
You know, a triple world champion at 10. You know, it's pretty amazing. And I'll tell you, there'll be as much fun watching what we call the challenge classes or the age group classes racing on the first 2 days as there will be, you know, with these unbelievable world-class riders for the last 2 days.
And I mean, listen, we've got some greats, haven't we? I think of the likes of is it Richard McLaughlin?
Oh, from the old days, yeah. We've got a number of people that are coming back. I mean, Richie, when I first started looking at BMX, I don't know, 20 plus years ago, Richie was our star, and he's involved in the sport now as a coach, but he's decided to come back and compete and qualified. Someone like Vanessa Quinn, who's a mountain bike world champion, mother now working in the bike industry, she's come back qualified. So yeah, there's some great stories out there, and lots of families. You know, people like the Rickers. You know, where Papa Ricker is arguably, we believe, the oldest active rider in the world. 73, he's competing. His daughter is going to be heavily involved in the commentary. The son-in-law is a commissaire, and the granddaughter is going to be competing.
Cool, fantastic. What is the format then? So both for the elites, but also for the age group, but perhaps more so for this conversation for the elites. What is the format at a World Championship event like this?
Yeah, sure. So the A-elites race in 4 classes, obviously, A-elite men, women, junior A-elite women, and they are over the last 2 days of the championship, the 27th to the 28th. In between times is a remarkable transformation of Vector, which is going to be incredibly spectacular. A-elites race off a bigger ramp, an 8-metre start ramp, so it's about 3 floors up. I would say about a third of the people in Vector are actually going to be looking up at this event. It's going to be quite spectacular. And they race on the 27th, all of the A-elites race a time trial, which is a single lap. The top 15 then in each of those classes then return and they race a super time trial, and that holds with it a world title. So we will determine on the 27th the world time trial champion. It also then puts them into draws for the next day. They all race the next day. 3 motos in the morning, we call them, or heats. That will then qualify people through to the quarterfinals. Then it's straight elimination. 8 people on a ramp at once racing, and they halve their way all the way down to a grand final. And that's all going to happen in around that quarterfinals onwards is about 2.5 hours of action. So it's incredibly fast and furious. They race every 20 minutes, so there's just no downtime, and it's going to be something I think that general sports fans are going to enjoy, because there's lots of music, it's fun atmosphere, and it's going to be unbelievably spectacular.
Yeah, well, you've answered my question. So it is a bit of a concert in itself as well. So there'll be plenty of music for the families to enjoy as well.
Yeah, there'll be lots, and it's just going to be, you know, sensational. We were in at Vector again, and I took some people through this week, and for those, we took them upstairs to Vector and say, well, actually, the start ramp is now another 1.5 metres higher than this. And then you get a sense that the first turn is actually going to go virtually up into the grandstands at the other end. So, you know, and you get 8 people off an 8-metre ramp. By the bottom of that ramp, they're going to be going about 70 kilometres an hour. They then have to have a horizontal jump of about 15 metres just to make the next jump. If they don't, they're going to crash. And the chances of 8 people doing this and going straight defies the laws of physics. So it's incredibly aggressive, and there'll be crashes, but there's also some quite remarkable action and incredible athletes.
Fantastic. And Vector Arena, tickets are on sale now, so, what's the best advice for people that want to get along?
Get on to Ticketmaster. That's where the tickets are. Look, they're for as low as $9 for a kid, $29 for an adult. You can get a family pass of 4 for, I think, $129. It's cheap. Even the final day, you're only looking at tickets of under $50. So it's school holidays. I'm not saying dump your kids off at the exit, but definitely at school holiday time, looking for something fun to do. I can tell you. The other thing they should do is look onto our event site, BMXWorldsNZ.com. BMXWorldsNZ.com. We're having Have a Go days still. There's still a few of them to go. So if kids want to go down and have a bit of a tryout at local clubs, all the info's there, and they can actually win a chance to have a ride on the track during the championship. So that could be pretty fun. And we're also going to have a bit of a Have a Go day at Sylvia Park with the New Zealand team, including Sarah Walker next month.
Fantastic. Looking forward very much to it. It's a couple of months away, but really it'll get there very quickly. So get online, get your tickets and be a part of it. Thanks, Heppy Heppenstall, Media Manager with the UCI BMX World Championships. That is our look at the sport of BMX tonight on the Hyundai High Performance Hour. And it is very much a high-performance sport on the move. Part of a new generation, the next generation of sport that is perhaps starting to change the way that we look at sport, the way that we watch sport in this country. And I think all power to them. To the likes of Sarah Walker, who's a wonderful ambassador for the sport. She achieves at the very highest level, silver medal from the Olympic Games. There are others in that team as well. Talia Hansen, a most promising junior. There's Kurt James as well. I'm struggling to remember some of the names, but and all those age group stars as well. Good luck to them. Good luck to the event. I think it's going to go off. And as I say, we're changing the way that we watch our sport a little bit in terms of our taste as sport evolves. No longer, Jason, is New Zealand rugby, racing and beer. That's absolutely behind us now, and this is going to be huge. Great to see the event coming to New Zealand.
Oh, fantastic. It reminds me of a funky sort of event with the music that's going to be on. It's going to be fast and furious activity on the track there. I wish I could be here to see it, actually. I think it'll be outstanding inside Vector Arena.
Yep, so it'll be good fun. That's us for the Hyundai High Performance Hour this week. Remember, next week on the show, our very special guest live in studio, Ali Williams. So look forward to that one next Wednesday here on the Hyundai High Performance Hour. For now, get online, answer our quiz question. Very simple question. What brand of BMX does Sarah Walker ride? Get on our Facebook page, like and answer the question. You could be a winner with our Paper Plus prize pack. If you need to go through our website to find the Facebook page, that's fine. We've got a huge link there. You can't miss it. It's a big F for Facebook with a thumbs up, okay, to like us. So go to hph.co.nz and you could be a winner. That's us for the Hyundai High Performance Hour, but certainly not us for the night. There's more to come on Sport Lately.